Hey Paul, my name is Mark Devlin. I'm the master coffee roaster for Higher Grounds Coffee Company. And Steve, Sharon, Noah, and Ben have asked me to do something very special for you for this Father's Day. And that's to roast you your own pound of Tanzanian pea berry. Why Tanzanian? Well, they've told me that you have a special affinity to that region of the world, because this coffee was actually grown right on the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro. And a pea berry is a very special, very rare bean. It only happens in about 1 to 3% of all the cherries that are grown in the world. And essentially it's a genetic abnormality. Most coffee beans are literally the pit of a cherry, and they grow in two symmetrical halves. But a pea berry actually is one pit, and it grows almost perfectly round. Now, the flavor profile for a pea berry is very different than that of its brothers and sisters on the same tree in the same bush. Actually, you can pick a pea berry bean, and you can pick a regular bean, process them, roast them up, and they have absolutely different flavors. They come right from the same tree. Some says it's because all the flavor characteristics and nuances are all put right into that one bean instead of two halves. And some would say just because of its genetic abnormality, the properties of the flavor profiles are just different. I don't know what it is. Not too many people do. Some people claim they do. But all I know is it makes a really good cup of coffee. Very full body, well balanced in acidity and body, very good flavor, low acidity on the back end, and it's just really a good flavorful cup of coffee. So I'm actually going to roast this for you as you're watching this video. First, I just want to kind of explain the roasters. I understand that you are a coffee aficionado, and most coffee roasters will roast their coffee in big 25, 50-pound lots. We do it in these little micro roasters back here. It actually roasts in 1 to 2-pound lots. Why do we do that? Well, because we want it consistent every single time. So if you want your coffee Vienna, full city plus, and I understand you're a little bit of a bold drinker, so if you want to bring it to a French roast or even higher, we can do that and be consistent all the time. But let me kind of bring you through what these coffee roasters do. First, this is actually the roasting chamber. This is where the coffee goes in. As you can see, it's actually perforated on the flip end on the bottom, and that's so when I turn the coffee roasters on, the air will actually blow up from the bottom to agitate the beans, and then the gas will kick in, creating the BTUs, and that's when the roasting process begins. It takes about anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to completely roast and cool down again. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to actually put more than a pound of coffee here. Of a coffee bean weight, the green bean weight, about 15 to 25% of it is water. So as that's roasting, going through the roasting process, it actually will shed off all that moisture, and that's called what we call the first crack. It'll sound like popcorn inside of this. And then the roast that you're probably most familiar with is the darker roast. It'll actually go through a second crack. What that means is the paraffin and the oils in the bean are superheating, and those cells just burst when it gets to a certain temperature, and that's when those oil cells and the paraffin will actually begin burst even outside of the coffee bean. And that's why when you buy your dark roast coffee, it looks like it's very wet on the outside. That's because all the oil has broken from its cells inside the bean and has seeped to the outside. This is a chaff collector. What happens is when a coffee bean is roasted, very similar to a peanut, it sheds a skin. Well, you don't want that skin in your coffee, and I don't want it in my roaster. So what happens is, as the air blows through the top of these canisters, this will sit on top. Chaff is actually collected in here, and I can actually take it off all at once, dump it out, clean out the chaff collector. You don't get your coffee, I don't get it in my roaster, which causes fires. So, without further ado, I have a pound already pre-measured in here. I put it in, put it inside the chambers in here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this not so bold that you're going to taste the roast, primarily the roast, because I want you to taste some of the character nuances of this bean because it's such a great bean. So I'm going to roast it a little bit more than medium, but not real bold, so you can actually taste the nuances of the coffee. If you want it a little stronger, just put an extra half a scoop in per cup. Put it in there. And off it goes. So what's going to happen now is going to be about 15-20 minutes. This will be done. I'll take it off the roaster, put it in your package, and send it to you. via mail. And again, the guys just want to wish you a happy Father's Day. Wish you the best. Have a great time. And hope you enjoy the coffee. Thanks a lot, Paul.